Now, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the two triangles, A square and C square. If you guys implement these two squares or these two triangles, you guys will instantly start seeing results in your sales call and you'll never fumble a sales call again. Either number one, you're going to close the deal, or number two, the prospect's going to hang up on you. Buy or die. So buckle up, pay attention, grab a piece of pen and paper and start writing down because I'm about to blow your mind. Buckle up. Now, let's start off with the C square. Now, the C square, there are three C's. The first one is certainty. At the end of the day, you need to have certainty when you are talking to prospects. You need to be certain that this product or service, whatever you're selling, can actually help the person. You need to come from somewhere deep down ethical. Because the truth is, if you're selling something that you honestly just don't believe in, you're not going to be able to sell it. Because humans, we have like a sixth sense. We can tell when somebody's not being truthful, when somebody's lying. We can just sense it. For example, you guys have probably met somebody in your life that has like the snaky energy behind them. Right? Their words sounded nice, but something inside of you could just tell it wasn't right. So it's the same thing. You need to have certainty when you're talking on the phone. So how do you get certain? Number one, get sold on the product or service that you're selling. You need to rewatch the testimonials. Get sold on yourself that, oh yeah, if I was on the other side of the call, I would buy this too. It's very simple, guys, very simple. Now, the second thing you need to also, on the C square, is conviction. You need to have conviction. For some reason, all these salespeople, all these sales trainers, quote unquote, you talk about all these sales strategies, all these word tracks, this mimic and matching, all these different things. But at the end of the day, the core thing that's actually going to help you close more deals is conviction. You need to be fully convinced that the product can actually help them. Right? You cannot just be saying word tracks and saying things that sound good, but you don't have any conviction behind your voice because people just aren't going to believe it. They're not going to be convinced that the product can actually help. And in a sales call, it's a battle of conviction. There's going to be the prospect's conviction and then your conviction. If the prospect has more conviction than you, you're going to go ahead and you're going to buy their objections. You're going to be like, oh yeah, they need to think about it. That's normal. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're going to be convinced. They're going to sell you on their convictions, right? But if your conviction, if you have higher conviction than the prospect, then the prospect's going to believe more into you than into themselves. And at the end of the day, the prospect, whether they're buying a product or a service, they need to be convinced. They need to feel your conviction that this is the right thing to do. Because as humans, we get scared for some reason to make decisions. Now, the last C in the triangle is clarity. You need to have clarity in your voice. If you're speaking and you're mumbling and you have your shoulders down and you're like, yeah, so John, do you want to go ahead and do this? Bro, no one's going to freaking buy from you. People need to understand you clearly. Now, if you have an accent or you have like some type of problem with your speech, you have a speech impediment, the best exercise to do is to literally grab a pencil or a pen. I don't have a pen or pencil around me, but you can literally just grab a pen or a pencil, put it between your teeth, grab a book and read it out loud. Or even better yet, grab your sales script and read out your sales script. And do that 20 minutes when you wake up, 20 minutes before you go to bed. And I promise you're going to increase and it's going to be easier for you to be able to pronounce words more clearly. You need to be able to pronounce words clearly because sales is just clear communication, effective communication. And to be effective, you need to be clear and concise. So the best way to get clear is by being able to take off your accent, take out your speech impediment, and get really clear with the way you speak. All right, now we covered the 3C triangle. Now let's get into the 3A triangle. Now the first A is attitude. You need to have a good attitude, guys. Imagine if you had a buddy, a friend, let's call him Bob, right? And Bob was always next to you. He was being negative, he was complaining, he was whining, he was gossiping, he was talking shit. Would you really want to be friends with him? Probably not. Because as humans, we like to talk to people that are positive. If you have a positive attitude, people are more likely to buy from you. It's literally a psychologically proven scientific thing that people love positive people. It's simple. And at the end of the day, as a salesperson, you're the first representation of the company. So would you rather have a person you're being the first representative of the company, have a good experience or a bad experience? Probably a good experience, right? So at the end of the day, if you have a better attitude, even if you hate what you're doing, at least act as if you love it, right? Like Mike Tyson has this saying that I love. He's like, do the things you hate and act like you love it. Do the things you hate like you love it, right? It's one of my favorite sayings because the truth is, even if you love it or you don't, at least act as if, because you're going to have a 10 times better chance at least of closing deals. I'm so tired of seeing these sales trainers that are doing like sales calls and all these different things, and they're so monotone, they're so boring, they're so bland, right? Nobody wants to go ahead and talk to somebody that's bland. Imagine going to college, which majority of colleges are like this. If you go to college and you're talking to a professor and you're listening to a professor teach the class, he talks very monotone, he's very bored, he's very sad, and majority of the times you're going to fall asleep. And this happens in high school, elementary, middle school, college, whatever school you go to. This happens at all times. So if you want your prospects to actually pay attention to you, have a good attitude, because people love listening to people that are positive. Because they're going to be like, what the fuck's this guy so happy about? Why is he so happy? And guess what? Now they're intrigued. Now they're going to want to listen. At least be positive. And if you're positive, you're more optimistic. And if you're more optimistic, you're going to keep going. And if you keep going, you're eventually going to get deals and you're eventually going to change your life. So you need to be having a positive attitude. Crucial. That's like the number one thing. Before you even hop on a sales call, have a positive attitude. Check yourself. And a lot of people think an attitude, having a good attitude, is a feeling. It's not a feeling. It's a decision. Just like how I decided to put on a black shirt today, you could decide to put on a good attitude. You could wear an attitude. So it's the same thing. Decide, all right, I'm going to give this person the best attitude. I'm going to give them a good attitude and make that decision. And I promise you, before a sales call, if you make that decision, you're going to be able to close more deals just by doing that. Now, the second A is activity. At the end of the day, let's cut the bullshit. Sales is a numbers game. It's a numbers game. You have to do volume. There's no such thing as you picking up and calling 5 people or talking to 5 people and closing all of them. It's not going to happen, guys. You have to, if you literally talk to 10 people, maybe 4 or 5 of them are going to close. Depending on your skill level, maybe 8, but not every single one, right? So at the end of the day, you guys got to understand activity is very crucial, especially in sales. You need to be doing numbers. You need to be either calling more people or talking to more people and negotiating more deals and presenting your offer to more people. Because the more people you speak to, the more people you present your offer to, the more people are going to buy. It's simple. It's super simple. Activity, activity, activity. But the reason people fail at activity is because they're lazy. They're freaking lazy and they want to blame the leads. They want to blame the economy. They want to blame the president. They want to blame their friends, their family. They want to blame all these other circumstances but themselves. And the truth is, the more volume you're going to do, the more opportunity you're going to have. The more opportunity you have, the more you're going to be able to present your offer. And the more you present your offer, the more you're going to close. The more you close, the more money you make. The more money you make, you could get a fucking Lambo, right? So at the end of the day, it all starts from activity and attitude. And if you have a good attitude, by the way, to go back to the last point, if you have a good attitude, you're going to want to do more activity. And if you do more activity, you're going to have a better attitude because you're doing more work. And at the end of the day, God created us to work, because if you don't work, you're going to want to die, right? So the more work you put in, the happier you're going to be. The happier you are, the more you're going to want to put in work. It's a freaking upward spiral. Now, the third A is approach. You need to understand your approach. At the end of the day, how are you approaching the prospect? Are you being a dickhead? Are you saying the wrong things? Are you what are you saying to these people? How are you approaching them? That's super crucial. The way you approach somebody is so crucial because it can literally make or break a deal. Just like how you go to a pretty girl, how are you approaching the girl? Are you just going up to her, right in her face, trying to shake her hand and say, hey, I like you, blah, blah, blah? Bro, she's going to be like ill and walk away from you. Compared to if you say, hello, excuse me, and you ask her, hey, listen, I thought you were very beautiful. What's your name? Boom. And then you go in for it. It's a lot better than just going right into her face and saying, oh my gosh, I think you're so amazing. I think you're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, do you want to go out? She's going to be like disgusted compared to the other way where you're a little bit more polite, right? So it's the same thing on a sales call. How are you approaching the client? Now, at the end of the day, it depends on how you frame it, right? If you're on a closing call, my favorite go-to saying in the very beginning is like, all right, now I know we have this call, John, for around 10 to 15 minutes. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, what's the number one thing you want to learn about in this call? Boom. What's the number one takeaway you want to get from this call? Bam. And then I frame it as like, okay, listen, we're not going to be here talking about the fucking weather in Miami. No, we're going to be talking about what are you trying to solve? What problem are you trying to solve? Because now you're going straight into it. You're not wasting time. You're not talking about a weather report. You're getting straight into the DBM. You're getting straight into the problem solving. And that's what you are as a salesperson. You're a problem solver. You're there to solve a problem, not to talk about the economy, right? So that's crucial. So attitude, activity, and approach, clarity, confidence, and conviction. Now, if you guys implement those 2 triangles, the A square and the C square, I promise you, you will never, ever, ever, ever fumble a freaking sales call. I fucking guarantee it. So with that being said, implement, let me know, come back to this video, tell me, Leo, you're amazing. And until then, I'll see you guys on the other side.